Attack! And hopefully these guys are smart enough to strategically redeploy. Yes, they are. Using the transport infrastructure we built for them. You can actually help out with this for a sec. Before you join Eisenhower's big push. It still says we're missing motorized and light tanks. I don't have any divisions that use light tanks. Do we really have a demand for light? No. We're missing them from the stockpile, but we have zero demand and we're producing zero.
Is Germany sticking around? We gonna get a chance to go at them?
Yeah, they're still sticking around. I think that did they lose? They still hold Paris actually, and the Low Countries and Denmark.
You know what's actually pretty cool about what's happening in this
New
playthrough?
Zealand is kind of bogged down in the Alps actually.
Is France is handling their business.
Yeah,
that is ahistorical and pretty cool.
But what I've noticed a lot of the games of Hearts of Iron 4 that I've played is that France handles their business better than historically. Often.
Well, I mean, France's problem historically, I mean, it's so often reduced.
Look at the Swedes. They're even defending the Norwegian border. They're some badasses right there.
They get, I mean, it's been reduced to, unfortunately, a completely oversimplified meme.
Yeah.
Their problems were manifold, and it wasn't cowardice. They actually fought their butts off. They were just outflanked, they were not outgutted. They were not outhearted. They were out literally everything else, but they were not. And in a game like this, if you can see, you know, you start in 36, right?
Yeah.
Had France started preparing for World War II in 36, they'd have been fine, most likely.
Yeah.
It's that war came to them in 40. I mean, obviously in 39, but the real fighting that involved France started in 40. You know, war came to them, and they were not ready for it. I feel like in a game like this, they're gonna be ready for it.
Yeah.
The computer is not gonna be programmed to basically sit on its thumbs for 4 years of game time waiting to get rolled by the Reich, you know?
I just messed something up. Okay. I think I fixed it.
But it's cool that they didn't have to be the Free French, that in this playthrough the French are...
Yeah, the French are the French. They lost a lot of Algeria, which is kind of...
Well, I mean, don't get us wrong, the Free French were the French too. We're saying that they were never Vichy, they were never defeated. By Germany in this playthrough.
Actually, they were overrun by nationalist Spain at one point, but now Spain belongs to them. So
yep, they clawed their way back, man.
The Canadians are still holding Tripoli by themselves, even though Italy has taken everything around it. Which helps. It's helped by the fact that we have largely control of the Mediterranean.
France stayed free. It didn't need to be liberated. That's what I was trying to say.
Right. Yeah.
They kicked some butt, and to be honest with you, dude, they might break Germany. Like
they're definitely helping.
Well, and as Germany is able.
Oh, they retook Paris.
There you go. Here we go, guys. France is going to do it. Germany
still has Brittany, which is allowing them to continue to launch U-boat strikes against our freaking
shipping.
Why do I have a free infantry division here? Go fight, win.
Is one of the leaders you can choose for France de Gaulle? Because I know
de Gaulle is in there. Yeah,
he got his start in exile. Basically.
He has really good stats too. De Gaulle is an amazing.
De Gaulle was a stud. I'd say that's historically accurate.
No, de Gaulle is French for of Gaul.
You know, in all seriousness, though, I consider him one of the more impressive figures of modern history.
Yeah.
To do what he did with the Free French, and like what's the quote? It was a long way from North Africa to Paris. There's a quote about what he accomplished.
I know the quote you're talking about, but I do not know what it is.
Yeah, I don't either. But
bring an infrastructure to the Russian steppe and the Caucasus. Well, we're not to the Caucasus yet. But... Whoops. I don't know why I just hit Alt-Tab instead of Escape. Production. We also need infrastructure down here. How about that? Alright, so I'm going to bump all the priority on this shit up. This... Shoot. This railroad. And then I'm going to go ahead and reprioritize our other stuff back to the top, because that is currently the fastest way to reorganize everything. Bump, 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 bump. Alright. Oh, we have a research slot open, and we're going to use it on... Can't get F-86s yet. I think the cap on that technology is 1950, actually, so after the game is already over. So it'll always be an ahead-of-time tech, no matter when you try to take it.
What is now? Sorry?
The F-86 Sabre.
Yeah.
Fighter, yeah. So, doctrines are done. This stuff is all pretty much done. I guess we'll research the patent. We've got enough tanks on the field now that we can start trickling in upgrades, and it'll make a difference, but we won't be at a shortage. We are for medium tanks. We have 7,000 of them in reserve, so we're not going to run out of tanks anytime soon. Speaking of tanks, let's go ahead and do a motorized push to Astrakhan, and then try to cut off this down here.
Yeah, this is winding up, folks.
Closing down fronts with rapid armored assaults. Soviets are bunched up, but at this point we have enough of an overall manpower advantage that I don't think it's going to matter. Maybe not manpower, but definitely division strength. That batch we just shipped over to Eisenhower is going to be unstoppable. They're putting up a hell of a fight, though. One thing I didn't talk nearly enough about in my review is how impressed I am by the military AI in this game.
Yeah, it seems like they don't bury themselves too often.
Yep. They're opening up a pocket here. They're having a little mini battle of the bulge. See if we can cut them off. That could actually be a small problem for us. Do I still have troops on the way? Yeah, they're distributing themselves disproportionately to the north, which is not entirely intelligent and slightly annoying, but yeah, if we can just cut off the neck of this advance here, I think we'll be okay. I just want to watch this tank division wreck shit.
Shit be wrecked, yo.
I mean, garbage be wrecked, whatever.
Yeah, god dang.
we're gonna have to bleep stuff for YouTube monetization purposes.
Yep, and slowly train ourselves to be incrementally better at this.
Yeah.
We're grown donkey millennials, for Pete's sake. Reminds me of a book I read where a guy goes undercover at a deeply conservative evangelical university and has to teach himself how to not swear, and actually gets a book to help him do that called Taming Your Tongue.
Yeah.
And it's very amusing, like 6 or 7 pages of writing, just what he goes through.
Sounds interesting, yeah. Alright. Swift armored advance with a very low division organization, unfortunately.
No, we're happy to have you, Limey Honey.
Soviet-Turkish war. We have lost 87,000. The Soviets have lost 4.71 million.
God dang. And that's just their war with us. I mean, they're involved in some other conflicts.
Yes, they are. I guess I could assign Patton to like an armored spearhead and start doing some fancy stuff, but we have such an overwhelming advantage at this point that I feel like the efficiency we would gain from doing that is not going to be entirely worth it. Germany still hanging on. Italy has Luxembourg. They're actually pushing back from Brittany, kind of pincering the French forces.
They're going down swinging, but they're going down.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a question of outcome at this point. It's
yeah, they're going down swinging, but they're going down.
Yep.
That said, the more swinging they do while going down, the longer this goes, which lets us get there. And
still no veteran divisions, really.
So the U.S., how is it?
The home front, or just playing?
Or just playing as
playing
U.S.
them in general. I like it a lot, actually.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's our home country, so there's always that.
Not to mention, I think the national focus tree for the U.S. is pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like the Monroe Doctrine tree. That has made this whole playthrough so much more entertaining. Just being able to force democracy on all the South American nations. It's very thematically appropriate, I think. All right, I'm gonna merge Patch's army back with Eisenhower's army and.
We are making the push for Moscow.
Good old Muscovy, my frequent adversary in EU4. All right, so British Parliament debates intervention in Scandinavia. You're debating it? You're debating intervention in Scandinavia?
They're doing all right. They don't need you.
Actually, Norway has pushed them back, and so has Sweden a little bit. Yeah. The UK right now is just going through all of their remaining national focuses, including the ones that are no longer really relevant. We're winning this battle even though it's completely stacked against us. Moving tanks through the mountains, and it's working. That should tell you something about
the technology,
the effectiveness of the forces we are bringing to bear. We have some mountaineers here, though. That'll be extremely helpful. Actually, I'm going to send them to just cut this pocket off. Put a stop to it.
End this.
End it. Trying to figure out where we want to put our air base to start bombing. You probably put it in Gorky, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put an air base in Gorky and use that to drop the bomb on Moscow if they haven't capitulated by then already.
Somebody set us up the bomb.
We'll see. Moving in on Stalingrad. You got that Soviet mud. Plus 70% attrition, minus 50% speed, minus 40% attack.
Good lord.
Yep. That's what happened to the troops sent to take Stalingrad. Now our mountaineers are actually getting held back. What is this unit here? Lacks sufficient intel. Again, I haven't been keeping up on building radar installations. It's part of the reason we don't have enough intel on what our enemies are doing. They're trying to counterattack, so give them credit for that. All right.
I mean, they're in a fight for their very survival right now.
Yep.
They're gonna start tossing some haymakers.
What is he doing? Did I tell some of you to defend Vladivostok?
Yeah, I would send them all to the front.
We don't need them. I mean, if they want to go defend Vladivostok, that's perfectly fine with me. This is a weird little salient here. It's surrounded by Axis on all sides.
The British put some extreme troop strength into that, though. Like
yeah,
those
really...
it's just like a pencil-thin sliver of provinces, but they've got big stacks.
Yeah. We got some Marines showing up to the fight. Very low division organization, but they They are present and accounted for, sir. I guess that's a siege tank line from StarCraft, so it wouldn't be Marines. It would be my tanks saying that. Delighted to, sir.
One of my favorite Terran units to just listen to talk is the Firebat.
Oh yeah.
Just a super deep voiced guy.
I love that. Yeah, in the lore of StarCraft, like a lot of the infantry variants that the Terrans field are just psychopaths. Like they're mentally disturbed people who were sent to the front lines as an alternative to life imprisonment or whatever. Like,
need light.
Yeah.
My goose is getting cooked.
It's so freaking cheesy.
We have played a lot of Blizzard.
Oh yeah.
In our day.
We got started on Blizzard. Warcraft 2 was the first strategy game I ever played.
Yep.
Yeah.
First game, non-console game, because I had a Sega Genesis. When it first came out, I had an original Sega Genesis, the original launch. Man,
we gave Siberia a lot of shit, but fighting in the Caucasus is almost as bad.
The first PC game I can remember playing was spooling up old MS-DOS Wolfenstein, man.
Oh yeah, Wolfenstein 3D with Mecha Hitler. By the way, if somebody does not make a Mecha Hitler mod for this game, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Mecha Hitler was actually a pretty potent little boss,
he
honestly.
Was.
With the Gatling guns
that
and
was a tricky boss
a lot
fight
of
for
HP.
the time,
yeah.
For the time it came out, at least, yeah. Yeah, we're going to just kind of trap them against the British and Turkish lines here. And then it's just going to be cleanup duty. Of course, the push on Stalingrad is going just as slow as it did for the Germans historically, so now that we're in the industrial heartland of the USSR, it's
well, they're not going to give a single inch.
Yeah, it's going to be getting harder and harder. We're going to overrun a lot of troops though here when we take Baku. What are my tanks doing? You guys should be helping out. You've got organization. Just move. Maybe they don't have supplies. That's probably it. Can't get fuel across the mountains. Sticky situation. If ever there was one. I'm sure those... I mean, I don't know if there's any way we can look up the statistics, but I'm sure those maintenance and logistics companies have been paying dividends, though. Alright, we have cut them off. It is all but over for this southern region here.
This is so much different than EU4. Yes, it is.
It is very different from EU4. It's all about combat for the most part. Politics do play a role, but
it plays a role also in setting the stage for combat. Like what happens in 36, 37, 38 is important.
Yeah. What happens in 36 does not stay in 36.
No, it impacts the entire game.
Yeah. We've got another pocket here cut off. It looks like the Germans might actually make it to Moscow before we do. Interestingly enough. But I promise we'll drop a bomb on someone.
Look at France doing what they do.
Yep.
Basically single-handedly taking the West back.
Yeah. I think the Soviets were the only other ones that were close to getting the bomb, and they don't have enough factories now to build it, probably. So they could surprise us and deploy it before we do, but I think it's unlikely.
At this point, I mean, zoom out, show
them. Let me assign a very small order here. 12 divisions, and we'll give them an attack. Yeah. So yeah, this is what's left of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, they're from largest nation on the planet to probably not even in fifth.
Germany is still holding this pocket around Brittany. They're actually closer to Paris than the last time we looked at them. So they might retake Paris. You never know. Since they're not having to devote a lot of resources to the Ostfront right now because we're completely annihilating the Soviets.
Hi, I came back.